Contrary to what people say, do not believe the hype. Jazz is not dead, it's just in hiding because it remembers what happened when hip-hop tried to come back. How you doing, everybody? It's another Talking While Playing is Hard. I'm your main host, Mesoian, and decided to do another video in order to distract myself from doing cosplay research and eating chicken quesadillas and drinking Tokyo iced teas. So, let's play some SSX 2012. And because this game has a ton of EA Sports and EA logo music labels, I'm not going to use the original soundtrack, even though it's all webstep anyway. I'm going to be playing Bad Bad No Good in the background because they are amazing. And everybody should go out and buy their album immediately. Immediately. It's free on Bandcamp. Give these guys money. They're all sub-21-year-old kids playing some of the roughest jazz I've ever heard. It's amazing. The album is amazing. So today's interesting because the Mount Eddie DLC dropped, which is basically their attempt at making SSX 2012 more like the old SSX games like SSX Tricky and SSX 3. Because as good as SSX 2012 is, it's not old SSX. It's still good. It's still real good, and I still endorse it. But it is not as crazy as it used to be. Not by a long shot. But at the same time, I haven't played any of this, so I'm going into this raw. So the other good thing, or the other thing that really I didn't like about this game was that all of the people, all of the characters were super serious. Like, yeah, there's a stupid story mode in it, which is awful. Like, motion comics need to go away. They need to go away right now because they are terrible. But what they did for this DLC is they brought back the old SSX outfits. So that's really cool. I mean, Simon still looks weird, and Elise still looks weird, but it's not completely configurable, but they look at least remotely closer to what they looked like in SSX 1 and SSX Tricky. So, that's okay. The bad thing about it is these are not skins. These are separate characters. So I can't use my level 10 Kaori if I want to use this outfit, which sucks. But I guess it won't be that big of a deal in this one. Hopefully. Let's find out. So, like I said, I'm going into this blind. I really don't know anything about these tracks, these courses. All I know is that it's supposed to be crazy like the old games were crazy. We'll see how that goes. But, yeah, there are times, when me and Sebigoth and Starlight Sucker were going to New York, we got in a big argument about what makes this game really outstanding. And there's no... The multiplayer is very interesting because it's all ghosts. There's no live multiplayer. Even when you do get together and do live multiplayer, it's not live. It's still... everybody's on their own timeline, so it doesn't work as nicely as it should. Oh, Kaori looks so weird. So yeah, it's not... Okay, I'm not really all that pleased with how they came out. After this race, I'm going to switch back to my other Kaori, because I thought that was going to be a lot more amazing than it was. But the multiplayer is all ghost-based. Wow, that's... Huh. Well... Oh, but this is a race. Uber tricky and to grind. Oops. So, I mean, just from a tertiary look, from just how this looks, this seems good. I'm not seeing any pits. I'm not seeing any instant death areas. That's very good, because that was the #1 complaint about SSX 2000. Death pits everywhere. It wasn't a whole lot of whoosh. It wasn't a whole lot of fun because you would be restarting every 5 seconds. Because basically in this game, if you're playing for tricks or for speed, you know immediately whether or not you need to reset. And if you make one mistake, you might as well just stop and reset, because there's no point in going on. Which, you know, it's a perfectionist game. It's a lot like Trackmania in that sense. Like, a lot of people were calling this SSX. Well, yeah, it feels like a Trackmania game. So, I mean, that's something. Alright, we need to go. Wow, how am I 26 seconds behind? Granted, I'm doing tricks and stuff, but still not way faster than this. So yeah, I mean, big flashy areas. It's very Dayglow. It's very SSX 2, which is, you know, okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's what people really wanted. Doesn't feel like I'm boosting. Man, I'm way behind. I don't know how I did that. No, granted, I don't know this course at all yet. Yeah, I should not be hitting these jumps since this is, a race. Should be bailing off these ledges a lot faster, too. But yeah, it seems like it's a lot more areas where you can just play around with and not have to worry about being perfect on, which is good, because I feel like that is the #1 thing that hurt this game. Wow, I'm getting blown away. They definitely made the AI a lot more aggressive. And I'll tell you, this is a much longer course than what they've given us in standard SSX 2012. Like, everything in SSX 2012 is fairly short. It's all 3 to 4 minute courses. It's all 3 to 4 minute courses. Very, very short-based stuff. Fireworks everywhere. Man, I got completely blown out. I can't even see zone anymore. This is a bad run. But I'm kind of surprised by how long this is. I mean, I think they got the message when everybody was complaining about how the super cool, like half an hour, like 30-minute courses from SSX3, when they just weren't here. I think they took that to heart. And I mean, this is already 5 minutes, and I honestly don't know where I am. I'm beating the only other person on my leaderboard who's played this course yet. But like, I could see some absolutely astronomical scores being put up. I was testing it. I could see some absolutely astronomical scores being put up for the trick mode, just based on how these are laid out. Yeah, that was slow. That was really slow. Huh. I am going to jump out, and then go back in with my level 10. Actually, I'm going to go the highest one. Back up. Yeah, the Big Wachowski. And I'm I'm going to use my level 10 carry. Like, I mean, honestly, yeah, like, old carry and new carry are not that much different. I kind of wish they put a lot more time and effort into really having the character of the characters stand out. Like, the biggest problem in my mind is for this game is that it doesn't matter who you pick, they are all completely faceless. You might as well be playing a stick figure or something. Like, this game was so... It hinged on the attitude and the aggressiveness of the persona for each character. Each character was really memorable. Like, Simon was really memorable for being absolutely crazy. Carrie was like the super happy Asian girl, like Japanese stereotype. He wasn't in it, he wasn't in it. Mac was kind of the douchey protagonist. Elise was sort of like the blonde bombshell. And in this game, you don't get any of that. It feels like they're all completely faceless. It doesn't matter who you use, they're all going to be exactly the same, which sucks. It really does. I kind of wish they had put a lot more into that, because it doesn't really feel very good just going through and, you know, mucking around when it feels vanilla. It feels empty, and that's not what SSX was all about. It feels like they did sort of like the bare minimum. It's like people said, remember what SSX was, go play SSX for an hour and then come back and, you know, explain what you want. Like, but for the people that played SSX 3 a lot, for the people that played SSX Tricky a lot, SSX 2012 misses a lot of that, like, charisma. It's still fun, it's still really good. I've had a really good time playing this game, but is it better than 3? Is it better than 2? No. But it's still good. It's still good. I think it's still worth the price of admission now, especially now that it's cheaper than you know, day one stuff. But it still misses a lot. It's kind of unfortunate. It's kind of unfortunate. So let's try this again with my fully level character, and let's see if I can do a little better place this time. Nice. Go around. Always go around them. Never hit them if you're racing. Staying on the ground is paramount in a game like this. So this is cool. This feels like SSX 3. Ooh, is it a shortcut? Ooh, yes it is. I'm gonna go that way. That's me. See? Yeah. The devs definitely are cheating a little bit. They're going full on. It's, well, I mean, granted, this is race, and this is actually kind of good because the AI in this game on a whole seems pretty much static between no matter what event you're doing. If you're doing race or if you're doing trick, it feels like it's always doing the same thing. I need to pick this up. I'm going slowly, and that guy on my friends list is beating me, or at least catching me. Oh, plummeting. It's non-stop. And it's all about hitting ramps early, so you don't have to do the full hang time. Seems like a good course for a wingsuit, maybe. 20 seconds behind? What? It's crazy. What did I do? So this is definitely a game where you need to learn the courses. Like I said, I'm going in blind here, and I'm getting smoked by the AI just because I don't know, like, the secrets of this track. I don't know where to go. I don't know the shortcuts. A lot of this game is just like following the AI, following people on your friends list and seeing what they did, following people who are basically in first place on your personal rankings and figuring out their secrets, and then really capitalizing on that information and just mastering it, like sitting there and just mastering it as much as you can. There are a couple courses in this game where people were beating me by like full minutes, and I couldn't figure out how until I would follow their ghosts down on the trail and like find out where exactly they were going. It's that kind of game. It feels like a lot like a Trackmania, or I guess Trackmania really is the best analogy. It's not, and again, it's not a bad thing. It's just not exactly what SSX was, you know? It's something different. It's something new. It's okay, but it's definitely not what a lot of people came for. I can't miss this guy. Whatever. Get my tricky back. No, not long. It's a great game. Like, they did a great job. Like, EA has really been killing it at the beginning of this year with this and Syndicate and Mass Effect, even though Mass Effect has its problems, but those problems are problems that show up at the last 15 minutes of the game. They had a really strong Q1, and it'll be interesting to see what they do, you know, at the end of the year now. That was bad. That was bad. Caught out the loops. I don't have any boost. That's not bad. Like, I really wish this game still had the half pipes and stuff from SSX 3. Like, those were trick modes that were really fun. Just keep grinding that, yeah. I need to get my tricky on. Actually, over at the end. And I'm not even going in the right spot for a good time. I should have just boosted on the side that entire time. So, I don't know. This is not a terrible course. It's fun, but it feels like the level 1 course, or it feels like what should have been the level 1 course for this game. The fact that it's DLC, granted it's cheap DLC, but the fact that it's DLC doesn't feel great. It feels like sort of a big oversight. So let's do one more, but not here. I'm going to show you really where this game falls flat. And I don't think there's... Oh, okay. I'll show you... I'll play a fun one. One that I really like. But it really does personify the biggest problems that this game has. Where is it? Is it Patagonia? Shut the... Yeah, that's it. Okay. So yeah, this is probably my favorite course in the game. I'm not very good at it, but I'm essentially about to show you what this game is all about, and why sometimes it's great and sometimes it's just incredibly frustrating. So this is a gear suit, or a gear track, so like it says, a wingsuit and headlamps are required. And that's because this gets incredibly dark. And darkness in this game ruins everything. It makes everything pretty much completely unbearable. Just making sure there are no better boards. I think I really did get the best board really early in this game, which kind of takes a lot out of it. These are all crap. I'm not going to put on any mods. Okay, let's do it. So, I mean, I think this is a brilliantly made course. I think this really takes all the deadly descents that are like the main focus of this game, and puts them into one course really well. And it's fun. but it does a great job of showing you what this game does really well and what this game does horribly. So let's go, and as we go, I'll explain. So this is a race, but this is a pretty long course. But even then, like I said, they made that DLC course really, really good. This is one of the longer courses in the game, and it's still shorter than the DLC course that we just did. So it starts off pretty simply. Like, you want to stay on the ground, you want to keep your tricky up. So you have infinite boost all the time. I'm doing bad jobs and doing duplicate tricks, and you can see Nick or whatever who is on my friends list staying with me. So here we go. Problem number 1. Darkness. Darkness in this game sucks. Do you see what this is like right now? That's what it's like the whole time. Problem number 2. Instant kill pits. They are everywhere. Problems, and I wasn't quick enough hitting rewind, but we'll try that again. So yeah, here we go again. Let's see if I can do a little better this time. So yeah, you want to get your tricky going early and often. Always want to be tricky, never not tricky in this game. So you can use your boost just to go as quickly as possible. You don't really have to worry about jumps. It's more about staying on the ground and just boosting and chaining your normal tricky with your uber tricky, so you can get the most time out of it. Nice. So you hear a little Run DMC in the background. That happens every time you get tricky, which I know that happened in SSX Tricky, but I find a little annoying here. Okay, so yeah, complete total darkness. Death pits everywhere. I can't see where I'm going or what I'm doing right now. So there you go. Instant death, right? Problem number 3. Rewinds. It's annoying, and you are the only thing that stops. So the other people are still going. So if you're going for a good time, or if you're going for placing, you've already lost. There's no reason to ever use rewinds, because there's no way that you can catch up if you ever use one. It's really pretty poor. It's a bad mechanic. What would have been better is if they just reset you. Oops. Is if they just reset you back on course. Oh, I'm gonna run out. Crap. So here I need to redo it again, and you're losing points, but that doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter at all. Points in this game, unless you are doing trick mode, are useless. It's more about getting down to the bottom of the hill as quickly as possible. And I think I already went the wrong way. I think there's a shortcut on the other side of this, which I want to take. No, not here. It's farther down. Oh, I'm not going to make that. No. So, like I said, unless you really know the courses, there's a lot of places where you can just get completely screwed. And because the rewind feature is such a hindrance, there's really it gets really tough figuring out places where you can learn or explore, because there's so many kill pits. The kill pits are a massive misstep in this game, and the fact that they are everywhere really makes a lot of the portion of this game really annoying to play. Like Africa has some really interesting stuff going, but it is almost completely mired in pits that kill you once you fall into them, which makes it just not fun. Put on top of that, they are all in areas completely mired in darkness, which is crappy. So here's something that the game does really well. The avalanche, the unstable snow. Basically, if you don't stay in front of it, it will overwhelm you and then bury you. I think originally they thought it wouldn't be all that good because you can't really see what's going behind you, but I think it's a much more scary adversary if you can just kind of see it creeping up on you. Normally when you play Avalanche Descent levels, the entire almost, yeah, like 180 degrees, and you're watching yourself go down the mountain. I think that looks bad. I think that looks really bad. But it's still fun, but those are easy too, because all you need is the wingsuit and you can just fly down the mountain. It's kind of stupid. So yeah, bronze did not beat the next person up on my leaderboard. I did miss that shortcut. But I mean, that's what I'm talking about. It's a lot of, you have to keep trying over and over and over, and it's a lot of trial and effort. And the thing that really makes this fail is because, like with Trackmania, if you fail, you press a button and you are starting again immediately, no stop. With this, if you want to restart, you have to go through the loading, you have to go through your outfitting, and then you start down the mountain again. That's not fun. That's takes time. That takes time that you could be better spent going down the mountain again. Like, if they wanted to have this Trackmania-esque focus, this extreme attention to time and ranking, opposed to cutting out going down the mountain with other people at the same time, they really should have made it quicker for you to restart, quicker for you to recover from your mistakes. Like, they should have stripped out rewinds altogether and just made it so if you fall into a kill pit, they just put you back on the course while everybody gets like a 2-second advantage. It's poor that they didn't do that. That being said, this game is still good, but it is incredibly frustrating, and it's frustrating in a way that often is not fun. Like, it's not like, oh, I could have beaten that 2 seconds faster. Actually, I take that back, because there are courses that are like that. There are courses where you don't have to worry about kill pits, and you don't have to worry about like rock slides or darkness or stuff like that. There are courses that feel like courses of old, where it's all about you getting from the top of the mountain down to the bottom of the mountain as quickly as possible. And those courses are great. They are fantastic, and I find those are the courses that I go back to over and over and over again. And I find those are the courses that, you know, I'm willing to go and put the most time into, and you know, get the best time. Watch people. And somebody found my geotech. Watch. I guess I just put that together down. Watch people really see what they did. Like, I'll show you right now. Oh, and this is kind of a gross thing too. You can use Microsoft points in order to get more in-game currency. There's no reason to do that ever. In-game currency in this game, I got, when I turned this on originally to download the DLC, I got 7 million points just from my Ghost winning on courses that I've already done. But I mean, Siberia, for example. Siberia has some really fun tracks. You know, people beat my time by like fractions of a second, but they beat it. Like, yeah, I mean, these are fun. I really like racing. Oh wow, somebody killed my time. I really like racing in this game more than tricking, because I feel like tricking, it turns into like the infinite amount of time. You don't really have to worry about anything except for staying or going down the mountain as slowly as possible and tricking as hard as you can, while, you know, gradually, slowly snaking your way down. Like, you can get astronomical points just by taking your time, and I don't really think that's all that fun. But the racing in this game is great. I think the racing in this game is absolutely paramount. And I kind of wish that they did have simultaneous racing. Yeah, see, I'm still top here. But at the same time, I wish if they did make, oh man, yeah, two 1,000ths of a second, man. I wish they had really taken the time to make this a lot better, a lot more interesting, and a lot quicker to restart once you make a mistake, because you will make mistakes all the time. It's, you know, it's a video game. You do make mistakes. But I think that's all I'm going to show for right now. I still recommend this game. It's really fun. It's just there's a lot of stupid stuff in it. And like I keep saying, I like to say, looking back at some of the old franchises that I like, the first one is always going to have the problems. The second one is going to still have problems, but they'll do a lot more new stuff that makes the problems from the first game trivial. And then the third game is where they really get it right. there have been a lot of kinks in that philosophy as of late. But generally, I think when EA decides to do SSX 2, and they will, I think it'll be a lot more like SSX Tricky. I think that'll be a lot more like SSX 3. I don't think we're gonna have the same problems where almost every course in the game has kill pits and cliff sides that if you fall off, you're done, and now you need to reload the course. I think it'll be a lot more just balls to the wall, let's go, top to bottom, and having fun the whole way down. So that's it for me. Again, Bad Bad No Good. Buy their album, and I'll see you on the next one.